After a tremendous season, 3 Broncos were named finalists for AP's NFL honors. This is your Denver Sports Daily for January 24th.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
Going into a rebuild year, nobody really expected the Broncos to be great, but somehow this team exceeded and defied all odds against them. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and Patrick Surtain were arguably the 3 reasons this team's success was so great. And they were all named finalists for awards at their respective positions. Now, Bo Nix is a finalist for Rookie of the Year alongside Washington's Jaden Daniels, Las Vegas's Brock Bowers, New York's Malik Neighbors, and Jacksonville's Brian Thomas. And Nix's season was nothing less than spectacular, throwing for 3,775 yards and 29 touchdowns and adding 430 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He played amazingly. And though he is not the favorite to win, the Broncos clearly have a bright future with this guy at QB, and it couldn't be more clear than that. Really, it couldn't. This guy was not looked highly upon in the draft. He wasn't looked as a great quarterback coming into the draft at all. He wasn't. And the Broncos somehow found him. Sean Payton found his guy, and he made him great. He made him great. And because of Sean Payton's doing that, he is also one of the finalists too. He's the second finalist. He is finalist for Coach of the Year alongside Detroit's Dan Campbell, Minnesota's Kevin O'Connell, Washington's Dan Quinn, and Kansas City's Andy Reid. I don't quite know how Andy Reid is up there. I'm not going to lie. Payton dealt with a team that had the worst salary situation in the league, the whole Russell Wilson ordeal, and a rookie quarterback, and yet he still succeeded. He succeeded. That is exactly what a coach does. He brought this team who was down in the dumps, a garbage team a year ago, 2 years ago. For the past 9 years, honestly, they haven't been a great team, and brought them not only to a winning record, to a playoff spot. And sure, you can argue if their playoff spot was real or not. You really can. I won't agree with you if you say that they didn't deserve the playoff spot, but they got it. And sure, they lost to the Bills, but they defied odds once again, and it's because of Sean Payton. It really is. Now, last but definitely not least, Patrick Surtain was named finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. He joins Philadelphia's Zach Bond, Cleveland's Myles Garrett, Pittsburgh's TJ Watt, and Cincinnati's Trey Hendrickson. Surtain is the most likely of the 3 to win this award. Now, the Broncos had a great season, and not only did he have a great season as a team with the Broncos, but a personal season. He was great personally. Patrick Surtain led this defense to a high level. He really did. This defense was always pretty good. It's been great in the past, but this year they just had something about them. And Patrick Surtain was that leader. He was out there. He was making plays. He was the best cornerback in the league. He was holding QBs to such a great number, such a low number, that if they threw it into the ground every play rather than target him, they would have a higher QB rating. He is that good. So I think if anybody's going to win any of these awards, it's going to be Patrick Surtain. Now, the winners for all these awards will be announced on February 6th on NFL Network starting at 6 p.m. Now, moving on, Nikola Jokic was named an all-star starter for the 5th year in a row. Jokic, I could talk about him all day. He's having one of, if not his best season of his career, averaging 30.1 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 9.9 assists. And he's currently the co-favorite, and he should be the favorite for MVP. So, to nobody's surprise, he was named an all-star starter for the 5th consecutive year and his 7th overall year going to the all-star game. Now, the new all-star game format will be a bit different this year. There's 4 teams with 3 total games played. Each team is playing a semifinal game. 4 teams each playing a semifinal, which is first to 40 points. First team to 40 points wins the game, and the winner of the said game will move on to the championship match, which is also won by the first team to 40 points. So a bit different, a bit strange. Each team will be comprised of 8 players. Again, kind of strange. And one team is designated to have a roster full of rising stars. So yes, I'm a bit confused. I know you guys might be a bit confused. A lot different than how the All-Star game has been in past seasons. But this season, there is an incentive. You get a reward if you do win. You get money, compensation. Things are going to make players play a little bit harder in this year's All-Star game, which I'm a fan of. I want to see the All-Star game be great again, and it really just hasn't been in the past several years. People have gotten tired. They don't want to get injured. There's nothing really to play for. The All-Star MVP doesn't really matter as much as it used to, and now I think it will matter more. So hopefully it does. Hopefully this new format really works out for the NBA, how they're kind of planning it to be. Now, no other Nuggets have been selected for the All-Star game yet, but the backups will be announced on Thursday, January 30th. That's next Thursday. And this year's All-Star game will take place at Chase Center in San Francisco on February 16th. Should be fun. Nikola Jokic obviously having a great season. So it's really no surprise to anybody that he was selected as an All-Star starter. He actually led the West in total votes because, of course, he did. He's amazing. Now, moving on, more about Jokic and the Nuggets. They looked dominant in their 132-123 win yesterday against the Kings. Another outstanding night for the Nuggets. And even though the score was semi-close, a 9-point win, the Nuggets looked incredible the whole game. At one point, they held as much as a 25-point lead. Now, the entire starting lineup for the Nugs was incredible. Michael Porter Jr., 20 points, 8 rebounds. Russell Westbrook, 18 points. Jamal Murray, 18 points, 5 assists. Christian Brown, 21 points. But Nikola Jokic, on a different level, on a different plane of existence. Jokic's stat line, listen to this, 35 points, 22 rebounds, 17 assists, 35, 22, and 17. That's ridiculous. The second time in history a player has had 35, 20, and 15. He joined Wilt Chamberlain. All this means to me is that Nikola Jokic is proving that Wilt Chamberlain did exist. And that's one of the big conspiracies. Did Wilt Chamberlain actually exist? Did he get 100 points in the game? Nikola Jokic doing this right now proves to me that Wilt Chamberlain maybe was real, because that's insane. 35, 22, and 17. I've never seen that. Nobody's ever seen that since Wilt Chamberlain was in the league. Incredible numbers. Jokic has already had an MVP season, but with numbers like this, it would be insane if he wasn't the runaway favorite. Incredible. Now, this is the Nuggets' 4th win in a row, and with it, they grew to 28-16. They will sit in the 4th spot in the West, but the standings are getting tighter as we're nearing the midway point of the season. They're going to get tighter, and towards the end, after All-Star break, it's going to really become a dogfight in that top 4 spots, because the Nuggets are hot, the Thunder are hot, the Rockets are hot, and the Grizzlies are hot. They're all competing for that number 1 spot, but the Nuggets right now are looking really, really good. Now, they play again tomorrow at 1 p.m. against the Timberwolves in another NBA rivalry week matchup. It's been fun. This rivalry week has been great. Now, that's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I do want to read some of your comments. Bo won't get it. Sean won't get it. PS2 should get it. That's kind of where my head's at. I don't think Bo will get it. It's not because he didn't have a great rookie season. I mean, and any other season, he probably would have been rookie of the year. But Jaden Daniels, wow, that kid's amazing. There's really no competing with that. And at some point, you just got to kind of accept it. Jaden Daniels is going to be the rookie of the year. And honestly, he should be. I still got Bo Nix as my rookie of the year in my heart. But still, you gotta respect greatness when you see it. It's nuts. Now, moving on. The Las Vegas Raiders are hiring Pete Carroll as their head coach. Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, and Pete Carroll in the AFC West division. I know. That was announced just before the show that Pete Carroll was going to be getting hired on a 3-year contract for the Raiders. And here's what I'll say about that, is that I haven't seen success in recent years of the AFC West taking people from the Seahawks. I'll leave it at that. I just haven't seen success from that. So I'm not going to get too high on the Raiders quite yet, because Pete Carroll, yeah, he's a Super Bowl winning coach, but we know a Super Bowl winning quarterback that didn't pan out well in the AFC West. So that's where I'll leave that. That's your Denver Sports Daily for today. I'll be back with you guys again on Monday, hopefully recapping some Nuggets wins, some Avalanche wins, and then obviously biggest week of football this weekend, conference championship weekend. Going to be huge. I'll talk about it all on Monday. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you all then. Bye, y'all.